the government of national unity seems to be going along swimmingly, some would say, but would foreign policy be the first chink in the armor of this new government? Last week, while Gayton Mckenzie was in his fulfilling his super fan ministerial duties out in Paris for the opening ceremony of the Paris 2024 Olympics and attending some of the games there, his Deputy Minister, Peace Mabe, Deputy Minister of Sports, Arts and Culture, putting out a statement saying that the international community, as it did with this South African apartheid government, should isolate the country of the state of Israel because of its role in the Gaza war, 39,000 people having been killed since October last year. Gayton Mckenzie, seemingly unaware of that statement, said that he would deal with the matter when he comes back, that his deputy had no place in putting out such a statement, and also going on to say politics has no place in sport. I'm joined now by Hassen Lorgat, who is a social justice activist and has played a particular role in calling for boycotts against the then apartheid government, joins me now on the line. The South African government has said that the South African state's policy and foreign policy remains the same despite this government of national unity. But I'd like your thoughts, your first thoughts on when you saw that statement by Peace Mabe, seemingly issuing a statement unawares, or finding her minister, Gayton Mckenzie, unawares that she would make this statement calling for an isolation of Israel in the international sporting stage. Good morning, Hassen.
Morning. Lester, I think that if anyone is breaking the protocols or the agreement of the GNU, it will be the minister. He is tweeting left, right, and center, or mostly right, rather. His first tweets was against, or the most recent one is against the beauty queen, Miss Adechina, challenging her nationality, her roots. Now, you know how stupid that is, because Clemens Kadali was a trade unionist here in this country, Cape Town. His granddaughter, the late Rhoda Kadali, is South African, living in the Ham communities of how we all grew up, right? So clearly, ons is almal ingemeng. Tendai Mtawirira is a 2019 champion of rugby. He played for the Springboks. Harry Tagman played in 94, was the captain of South Africa. So clearly the minister has to get his history right. But picking on the small guys, small people, is a problem, right? And this is the minister every time breaking protocols, not consulting with his deputy, because he thinks he doesn't have to do it. Xenophobic comments are the order of the day, saying he'll deal with the minister for simply talking about peace, asking for a ceasefire, saying that Israel has no place if it has broken the truce of the Olympic truce, as Russia did, killing people, occupying, annexing territories, as the ICJ talks about. So clearly, the minister has a lot more to answer. But the trouble is that it looks like the minister is unhinged. He doesn't have a program of action. He seems to do what he wants. The articles of agreement, or let me just read one of them. Nation building is one of them. And social cohesion and unity in diversity. Non-racism, redress and equity, and alleviation of poverty. The minister has been against all the praise singers that go and support our teams, Mama Joy and others. It looks like he wants to be Papa Joy. He's all over. Since he's been there a month, all he's done is watch rugby in that. The ministry is Ministry of Arts, Sports and Culture, right? I'd like to see the minister carry a book, read some poetry. If he wants, from the community, Adam Small, look at the writings of Dennis Brutus, who was an anti-apartheid sports activist. If he wants to stay within community, because he claims that is his roots, but clearly he doesn't do that. The anti-racial sports movement was fought by communities of the oppressed very, very strongly, and we owe this debt to the world community. The IOC took so long to kick out South Africa, but Russia, it took 4 days to kick them out. Israel still plays under a flag. 88 athletes of Israel are at the games, 8 are Palestinians. and over 400 of them have been killed. So clearly the minister has a case to answer.
Bobby Skinstad, born in Bulawayo, Zimbabwe. Kone Krika, born in Lusaka, Zambia. Former Miss South Africa. Vanessa Carrera, born to Portuguese Mozambican parents. And he makes very little or no similarities between what he said against Chidima Achidina. And this is what he said. This was his tweet. His first thing that he tweeted when he got off a plane. And this follows what is essentially online abuse, victimization, bullying.
That's right.
Because of Chidima Adechina's Nigerian father and South African mother. And this is what Gayton Mckenzie said. I just returned from Paris and will definitely get more information tomorrow. We truly cannot have Nigerians compete in our Miss South Africa competition. I want to get all the facts before I comment, but it gives funny vibes already. Shouldn't Gayton Mckenzie have given Cyril Ramaphosa funny vibes, because he does fill a portfolio which in South Africa, in our context, in the role of art, sports and culture, does play a very, very important role in the social cohesive element in South Africa?
Lester, the three incidences, the one was that he leaked against the Poppy Act all, I think, 400 or 4,000 athletes' details who received some money from the Department of Arts and Culture. Now, clearly, no one's going to deny that corruption is a factor in most of the government departments all over the country. But the way you have to do it is not to label the victim, not to prejudice those who got some money. Do your studies and find out who are the ones that got a disproportionate support and call them out. But do some research. I spoke to some sports journalists the other day, and they say they can't get the minister into a room to tell him what his plans are, right? We thought by the changes that the new broom will bring in. But all our misgivings, I was saying, here's a minister, because his backer, Rob Hershoff, said he's a disruptor, right? We thought, okay, let us see how we can disrupt. 1,500 people die every year because they can't swim. They drown. Where's the swimming programs? Tatiana is brilliant. We have a local swimming club in Lens, right? And every time a youngster does well, there was a youngster Scooter who did very well in the swimming club from Meldos. The national bodies take him out of the township instead of developing the township. So there's a lot about development sport that we need, that you can't take the kids out, take them to Grace because these are champions. Let's make more champions. Let us play for health. Let us pay for recreation. Let's make sure that there's enough food for people. This is what he should worry about, especially if he's talking about the most marginalized and poorest communities.
You know what, Hassen, I don't mind if someone has right politics or left politics, or has a particular worldview driven by a particular ideology. I think Gayton Mckenzie has no politics. And I think he goes with the wind on what is popular to say amongst whatever constituency at the time. And I think that's, in fact, more dangerous than having a cogent, rational conversation on how South Africa was isolated during apartheid in a arts, sports and culture arena, and the conversation we should be having at the moment on whether the same should be done with Israel. I don't think Gayton Mckenzie has a particular politics on this at the moment.
Well, he has a politics. He says on TV it's about power, that he wants power. And in that way, I really think the Trumpian analogy is quite important. He doesn't worry what it takes, as long as they're making sure that he's making waves. And a number of people, and the media as well, actually give him a lot of oxygen. We need to ask him, what is your program for the department? What is it that will bring about people together? And it's true, a lot of lighties in our neighborhood really don't get a chance to play. How do you get these kids, these jewels to germinate? That's what we need to ask him. And he must carry a book with him, read some poetry, Clearly, he's not just a minister of sport or an Imbongi. He's Imbongi. He can't do that, He's got to do more.
Hassen Lorgat, really appreciate your time.